My name is Ryan. I am 24 years old. When I was 13, my mom told me a story of a creature that lived among the trees. It was a soul-sucking entity that preyed on children. According to my mom, the creature would press its face close to that of a child, drawing out their souls until they were left hollow. As they grew older, they would transform into faceless adults, doomed to wander the woods and be hunted like animals by humans for eternity. "Stay out of the woods, Ryan," she would say, her eyes filled with fear. Being a kid, I just shrugged it off as a story she told to keep me out of the woods. I was a carefree and quiet boy who loved spending time with my friends. Skip was 14, Arnie 15, and I was the youngest at 13. We would race through the paths, laugh by the river as we caught fish, engage in playful contests with marbles, and then just sit and chat under the trees till it was time to go home. One morning, Skip and Arnie were at my house, asking my mom if I could come and play. "As long as you stay away from the woods," Mom said. "I promise, Aunt B," Skip said. And without turning around, we darted straight for the woods. "Let's catch some fish," Arnie said. So we headed down to the river. I rolled my pants up to my knees so that Mom won't see it's wet from the river. Then we walked a little way into the water and watched as the fish swam. Skip did a belly flop into the water and came up with a fish he caught. "You got one," Arnie shouted, and we all laughed. Then we took stones and a sling and aimed it at birds. "I bet you can't kill one," I said. We tried and tried, but kept missing. I was unaware that the creature had taken an interest in me and was drawn to me like a moth to a flame. As evening descended, my friends and I decided to play a game of hide-and-seek. I darted through the trees, the excitement of the chase overpowering any unease I felt at that time. Suddenly, I found myself alone, surrounded by total silence that seemed to suffocate the air. The woods, once familiar and comforting, now held an unspoken threat. "Come on, guys, this isn't funny," I shouted, but there was just silence. A rustle in the underbrush froze me in place. I strained my ears, attempting to dismiss the rising fear that threatened to paralyze me. The rustling grew closer, and the shadows seemed to morph into a shape that moved with unnatural fluidity. My heart pounded in my chest as I turned to face the source of the sound. There, emerging from the darkness, was a faceless figure, a shadowy entity with hollow eyes that seemed to gaze into the depths of my soul. It was the creature my mother had warned me about. In an instant, the creature was upon me, its featureless face contorting into an expression of hunger. I tried to scream, but the sound caught in my throat as the creature pressed its face inches from mine. A chilling wind surrounded me, and I felt a force pulling at me. The world blurred, and I could sense myself unraveling, my identity slipping away like sand through clenched fingers. The creature fed and drained the innocence from my soul. As it withdrew, leaving me gasping for breath, I felt a profound emptiness, a void where once there was joy and happiness. I stumbled back, now just a shell of the boy who had once loved the simple pleasures of the forbidden woods. The creature, having grown stronger, melted back into the shadows, leaving me to wander aimlessly among the trees. Today, I am 24. My face is now as featureless as the adults my mother had spoken of in her story. I hide from people because I know they will kill me. After this communication, I will never be able to enjoy anything in the normal world. I am heading towards the once thriving woods that now echoes with the laughter of faceless souls. This is the price I paid for ignoring the warnings of my mother. Please keep your children away from the woods. Although I don't want to, I will hurt them, and their innocence will be lost in those woods forever.